Hello! I can't believe I've actually survived 1 year after all the crazy things that's been going on. For those who have been praying for me about university, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I made it through university and now your girl is going to year 2 this coming semester. And for those who don't meet, hello, hi, my name is Aki. Welcome. I'm a hotel management student in PolyU, Hong Kong Polytechnic University. So for today's video, I'll be talking about subject registration, something that I wish someone actually told me about before starting PolyU, because it was one of the biggest things that I struggled understanding as a freshman. So here I am to save your life if you're having struggles too. Let's get back to it. It's something that every student in PolyU needs to do before the semester starts. You will actually do subject registration at least twice a year, because there are 2 compulsory semesters in each year for PolyU, about 3 months each semester, and then the 3rd semester will be the summer semester, which is optional for you to take, because the classes offered in summer are usually for electives or general university requirement classes, rarely any core classes, and you usually do that maybe about a month to 2 weeks before semester starts, depending on the semester. It's always different. For me, this semester it starts about a month before school starts. You need to know when it starts and when mock subject registration is. Mock subject registration is going to really help you a lot, because that's where you can actually access all the subjects that will be offered in the coming semester that you're going to. Make full use of your mock subject registration so that you can be very familiar about it, and once you get into subject registration, you can be assured that you can get the classes that you want.
Okay, maybe not assured you'll get into the classes that you want, but being on time gives you a higher chance of getting into your desired classes, because mock subject registration is a great time for you to familiarize yourself with how subject registration works at your own pace. So, take this time to
get all the information of the classes, know which teacher is going to be teaching that class, when these classes will be, which day, what time, how long it is, and you get the full syllabus of the class. Actually, syllabus of the class, it's always out there on the web. You don't have to be a PolyU student in order to access that. You just find the code of the class and you just put it on Google and click enter. Usually it's the first PDF that comes out. If not, just write that code PolyU. The first PDF will definitely be that one. Take the time to study that subject syllabus. It's important to study it so that you kind of have a background understanding of what the subject that you're going to be applying for. See if you really enjoy it, if you like it, and then kind of know the expectations of this class. See how many group works there are, the level of the class. I would recommend you taking the easiest level if it's for like general university requirements, because you don't want to spend too much time on it. It's also just for you to like make sure you graduate from school, but it's not like an essential class. It really depends on you. Just because it's more difficult, I'm not saying you cannot take it. There's a reason why it's still there.
So, if you do all of that during subject registration, you will most likely not be able to secure yourself a space for your classes during the actual subject registration time, because spaces in classes that aren't pre-registered for you are assigned based on a first-come, first-served basis. If you're going to use that time during the actual subject registration to understand how everything works, you're most likely going to have a hard time finding good classes for the semester.
Where does subject registration happen? I totally forgot to tell you where this happens. So subject registration happens in eStudent. So remember to check eStudent, not Blackboard. I will give you the link down below for that. Once you get in, on the left hand side, there will be a column that says mock subject registration and subject registration. There will be a time given for you to know when you can register for it. It's always different for each cohort. If you go there out of the time, chances are you won't be able to get in. They'll probably say that there's a system error, or you're not in that right time now. Mock subject registration also has a timing for that, so don't be surprised. Don't think that, oh, it's because like there's something wrong with the website. No, there's actually time for you to actually access that, and I would advise you to make that day free or clear out 2 hours ahead of the start of your subject registration, so that you will be able to actually register for the classes that you want to register for, and have that peace of knowing that, oh, you can get into that class, because you are going to be somewhat fighting for a class within I don't know how many students in PolyU for this, just because it fits well in your timetable in the mock subject registration doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get it in your subject registration. So I would advise you to really 2 hours in advance so that you can actually prepare yourself, register in time, get the class that you want, and be at peace about it. Because remember, you are going to be stuck with this timetable for the next 3 months, and don't go in late thinking that you can get in, and once you go in and you didn't get the class and you go on complaining saying that, oh, I didn't manage to get into a class, when you actually could have an opportunity to get into that class. Because like I said, you're going to be fighting for it. Although subject registration will last for a few days, probably about 5 days, don't have that mentality thinking that, oh, someone's going to drop so I will be able to get into that class. What if it's a good class and like it's benefiting you? It's definitely going to benefit someone else with similar timetable as you, or same reasons that they're applying for these classes. Even though that's a chance that they may drop, and that you can also requesting for this class in case there's extra space, chances are going to be very, very slim. So I didn't know that in the first semester, and I registered slightly late. I remember requesting for getting to that class, but I never got back from the professor. So this really shows how slim chances for you to actually get into a class in case someone drops. And also chances are probably a lot of people have requested for that. So I think it's also depending on like first come first serve basis. So if you request late, chances are you're definitely not going to get in. The reason why subject registration lasts for a really long time could also be because for people to actually decide what classes they want to do. Even though it's long, I think the most crucial time is the starting time. And also mock subject registration, just really use all of the time that you have given for mock subject registration to fully understand what each student is, how this entire thing works, what fits your timetable, what teachers you're gonna get. And if you can, talk to students or seniors or people who've taken these classes, ask them for their advice, which teacher is better, because some classes there are different teachers who will teach. So maybe you can ask for your opinions about what about this teacher, the background of the class and all that, all just as many information as you can. Once you get into subject registration, it should also show in your mock. The university will actually pre-register some classes for you. Even though the university has pre-registered some classes, you have the option of whether or not you want to remove that class. Some classes will say pre-registered but must ask for approval to drop the class, or pre-registered and then it just doesn't say anything. You can choose to drop. Those classes where it says pre-registered and must ask for permission to drop, those classes are probably your core classes for the semester. Before you do subject registration, you really need to know what subjects you actually need to take for your degree. You should actually have a reference checklist under each student, which is personal for you. Do look at that and see what subjects you need to take, what subjects you are exempted from taking. That is so important so that you don't take extra subject and waste your time. You have a limit of taking 21 credits each semester, and if you take over it, you're gonna have a hard time. And if you take too many towards the end of your degree, you're gonna have a hard time trying to fulfill all the classes that you need in order to graduate, and you really don't want that happening unless you don't mind deferring. Really depends on your plan, but this is my advice, to really go through that, check what is exempted. If you're not really sure, go to your department's admin, ask them to explain everything to you. That's what I did during my subject registration. I didn't really understand, so I went to SHTM, went to 7th floor, asked the admin for everything that I wasn't sure of, asked until I really understood, and she just explained, broke down everything for me to understand, because it can get complicated. So don't be scared about it, just keep asking until you get what you need to know. In the end, you're the one who will be at loss if you don't understand it. So the admin for your department should actually send you a checklist of the subjects that you should be taking throughout the year, which kind of looks like this. You don't have to follow exactly, but this is advisable to take it this way. Try to put the heavier subjects if you can in the first year, because in the first year you have lesser things to take care of. First and second year, but better in the first year because the workload is lighter. We're supposed to take statistics next year, Sem 2, but I have friends who actually took it in Sem 1, year 1, and they say it's better because it's a heavy subject. If you want to do that, you can do that. How you want to plan your class is really important. Plan it really carefully. It will really affect your future in university. Obviously, if you plan it well, you will have an easier year. Subject registration lasts for a few days, and during that time the amount of classes you drop and the classes you add will not be counted. When that ends, your add drop will be counted during the add drop period. And also when you check out from your subject registrations, think of it like a shopping cart. When you're out of that shopping cart, there is a time period for you. I think it's 24 hours, before you can actually re-register again. Be very familiar with what you want to register during your mock registration so that you can be quick enough to register for your classes, because sometimes if you take your time, just because now it has space, maybe within a few minutes it could be full because everyone's registering at the same time. So be quick about it and be smart about it. Check your emails and see what your department admin has sent. They will usually give you a lot of information about that during the time of subject registration. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much if you made it all the way here. You guys are the best. If you know anyone who is confused about subject registration, do share this video with them. I hope I didn't confuse you even more. There is a video talking about subject registration in Cantonese. I will link that down below for you if you're a Cantonese speaker. I think that video is really useful, so you can check that out. I'll be sharing some videos on general university requirements, so do subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications so that you know when that video comes out. And that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, thank you so much.